Okay, and while we go ahead and wait for the UID grab for the 250, 450 races, I'm going to go ahead and go over the qualifying. So for 250, your top qualifier was Jet Hollyhead with a 59.046, followed by Johan Bordieu, Reese Harris, Seth Shirley, Daniel Olson, Holden Coate, Thomas Bento, John Heilman, Sam Widgman, and Daniel Irvine rounding out your top 10. In 450, Nathan Printon was the top qualifier with a 58.4, followed by Colby Eaglin, Austin Eklund, Clint Martin, Riley Hewen, Trevor Burns, Enzo Buttigni, Johnny Padani, Daniel Mills, and Logan Heagney also rounding out your top 10. We'll go ahead and hop into a track preview for tonight, going on board with Colby Eaglin. Okay, and now it's just time to wait on Heggs to get the heats built for the races tonight. If you want your skins to be on stream, please put them on the forum so I can download them. Don't send them to Heggs, me, Austin, anybody. Just upload them to the forums, please. Makes it a lot easier, a lot more organized for me. And I hate having Heggs bother me about it. Okay, and now we just wait for everything to go through. We did have a few riders get protested and banned for the week, including Rasmus Balzer with an 8-week ban, 2 week for a racing incident, and then 6 weeks for a key sharing. And then Braden Tharp getting a 1-week ban for taking a leader out as a lapper in the AU races last week. So we will not see them lining up this week. I believe we are going to be into lineup for the 250 Heat 1. Hopefully I load in. And on the gate for lineup, we have Seth Shirley, Josh Galglish, Dylan Adams, Adam Holm, Thomas Bento, Sonny Spicer, Brandon Nygren, Jet Hollyhead, Ryan Swanson, Jeff Giffen, Trevor Spencer, Evan Holt, Magnus Gregerson, Max Spokes, Hayden Stevenson, Carson West, Jose Fomador, Chris Post, Sam Widgman, and that seems to be it. Double check I didn't miss anybody. And nope, that's everybody for this. Yes, I did get your pack. Yes, I have the MSK pack. As long as if it was updated, I don't have it. But if it's the same link as what was first linked, then yes, I do. Anything that was posted to the skins thread, I have your skins. And we are on the gate for our 250 Heat 1. And to start this off, we'll go ahead and go on board with your top qualifier, Jet Hollyhead, for the start. On the far inside. And the gate is down for the 250 Heat as Jet Hollyhead hasn't gone. And it looks like it's going to be Trevin Thompson with the hole shot, followed closely by Seth Shirley, that's Brandon Nygren. Thompson, Holm, Bento, Stevenson, West, Post, Giffen. As Trevin leads to the first to the finish line. As you see, it looks like Adam's going to start going for the attack on Trevin, as Trevin makes a small mistake in the rhythm section, but still gets through it clean enough. Thomas Bento gets passed by Hayden Stevenson, as Stevenson throws a dirty in his face and goes down. That's going to allow Hollyhead, who's, after not going off the start, has already moved into 4th. That's going to let Max Spokes, Carson West by, as Spokes gets into the back of West. West in 5th, Nygren 6th, Shirley 7th, Stevenson 8th, and Widgman in 9th. Followed closely by Magnuson Gregerson and Dylan Adams. Back out front with your leader. Adam has taken the lead. As they get together with Trevin Thompson and both riders go down, that's going to open the door for Thomas Bento to take the lead. Along with Jet Hollyhead's going to get by. And that... a whole bunch of riders get ahead of Adam. So Trevin Thompson's going to get back up in 3rd. Carson West 4th. Shirley 5th. Nygren 6th. Adam falls back to 7th. Stevenson's still in 8th. And Swanson moves up to the 9th place position. Followed by Chris Post in 10th. Back out front with Thomas. As it looks like Hollyhead is making up a good amount of time on him over this past lap. Trevin Thompson still holding on to that 3rd along with Carson West, and Seth Shirley holding on to 4th, 5th. Hayden Stevenson has moved up into the 7th place spot. Swanson in 8th, and Adam has fallen back to 9th after leading from the beginning of last lap. as Holm has gotten past his teammates, Seth Shirley, who went down before the whoop section, and Chris Post is going to get around as they both died to the inside, and they're both going to go down. That's going to open the door for Magnus Gregerson if he can get through the whoop section, which he's going to get up in front of Shirley. A very aggressive move. As you see, Adam has gotten past Swanson. Back up to the front, Thomas Bento still holding on to the lead. Jet Hollyhead did make a little bit of a mistake going into the rhythm section, but looking clear so far. Travis Hobson still holding on to that third place position as Brandon Nygren takes a little off-track excursion, holding down fourth. Stevenson moves up into fifth. Carson West in sixth. Adam in seventh. Seth Shirley in eighth. Ryan Swanson ninth, followed by a lapper separating him and Chris Post. Sam in 11th. Sonny Spicer 12th. Evan Holt in 13th. Josh Douglas in 15th, or 14th now, as he gets together with Dylan Adams as we go back up to... It looks like that was Magnuson that went down. Hollyhead's moved into the lead. Trevin Thompson into second. Thomas Bento in third, dealing with a lapped rider. Brandon Holmes moves up into fourth. Stevenson still hold down in fifth. Same with Carson West in sixth. Adam moves up to seventh. Shirley in eighth. And Swanson now in your ninth place position as he makes a mistake in the corner and goes down. Oh, he still retains the position over Chris Post. That does open the door for Sonny Spicer to make the move up the inside. Shows him a wheel, but doesn't get too aggressive with him. As we see two different lines through that sand section, we see Swanson holding the very far inside, really close to the tough blocks, and Spicer holding the rut, which both lines seem to be very quick. As Sonny Spicer makes the move up the inside into that ninth place position. Hollyhead has pulled a very good gap over Trevin Thompson in the lead. So far, the running order has stayed the same throughout, since the little bit of a shakeup that we've had. The main thing to watch right now is this battle for the ninth place position between Swanson and Spicer. And it looks like Chris Post is going to get into the mix as Swanson goes down. That's going to allow his teammate, Evan Holt, to get by. As we should be coming up on the white flag coming up here soon as we see a big pileup in the back of the pack. As we see Sonny Spicer and Chris Post go down, that's going to open the door for Evan Holt, who again holding that very far inside along with Sam Widgman. That gets Evan Holt into the ninth place position. He's still not out of the woods yet. He's still got Sam right behind him, battling for that ninth place transfer spot. This white flag is out for the leader. As Evan goes down, and so does Sem. That's going to allow the door to open back up for Chris Post. As he goes down, doesn't get a full legs off, but does fall back a little bit of time. Sonny Spicer going down. So Chris Post is going to hold on to that last transfer spot as Magnus makes a mistake, collecting Evan Holt. That's going to put Sam back into 10th place as we go back up to the front with the leader who's about to come up and lap these riders. As Bento's fallen back to 4th with Carson West right on him. Adam moves up to 6th. Stevenson 7th. Shirley 8th. Chris Post in 9th. Back out to the front with Jet Hollyhead as we see two lappers going down behind him. Or right in front of him, I'm sorry. And Hollyhead is going to win the 250 Heat 1 from Oakland. As we go back to that 9th place battles, Chris Post is still holding it up with a very good gap over Josh Douglas. And Chris Post is looking like he's going to come around to be your last transfer. He still does have a very large gap over Josh through the last whoop section. And Chris Post is looking to get your final transfer spot, so we'll go through your top 9 rundown. Jet Hollyhead wins the heat race, followed by Trevin Thompson, Carson West. Brandon Nygren falls back to 6th off of cuts. Jet Hollyhead, Trevin Thompson, Carson West, Thomas Bento, Adam Holm, Brandon Nygren, Hayden Stevenson, Seth Shirley, and Chris Post all make it in through the heat number 1. So we'll be getting set here to go into our heat number 2 for this 250 class. As we're going to time out for this one again. Okay, and we're into the 250 heat 2 lineup. We'll go through a little rundown of everybody in the race. We got J.R. Reyes, Holden Coat, Christopher McPherson, Benjamin Milkovich, Johan Bordieu with that red plate, Nick Thomas-Sunis, Alec Horn, John Heilman, Ben Campbell, Tristan Powell, Charlie Owen, Luke Magnetti, Jojo Desage, Nate Bro, Timmy Briscoe, Reese Harris, Noah Hoke, Juan Forming, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, and Daniel Irvine. Give me 1 second, I don't know what's causing that. And the gate is... Okay, never mind. A double restart for whatever reason. Okay. Thank you for the update. Okay, and on the gate for 250 heat number 2, we're going to go on board with Daniel Irvine, who gets a fairly decent jump, but falls back. As it looks like it's going to be Johan Bordieu with the red plate getting out front early in this heat race. Followed by Reese Harris, John Heilman, and it looks like that was Daniel Irvine getting together in that whoop section. Back out front, Johan out front, Reese Harris, Benjamin Milkovich, Holden Coate, Nick Thomas-Sunis, Noah Hoke, John Heilman, and Nate Bro, and Tristan Powell falling right behind us. That looks like Magnetti got by. That was Holden Coate that went down. Thomas-Sunis has moved up into the third place spot. Benjamin Milkovich in second. John Heilman fourth. Reese Harris fifth. Noah Hoke sixth. Irvine seventh. Holden Coate eighth. And Luke Magnetti rounding out your top 9. JR is not too far back though. Still has a chance to get straight in. As Johan's fallen back to 9th place now. I don't know what happened to Johan, but he fell back pretty far. So that's going to put Benjamin Milkovich out front. Thomas-Sunis holding on to 2nd. Irvine 3rd. Heilman 4th. Reese 5th. Holden Coate 6th. Magnetti 7th. Johan 8th. And Noah Hoke falls back to 9th. Again, JR not too far back. Still manageable to get into the main event from straight out of the heat. As Magnetti goes down, that's going to let Johan by along with Noah Hoke and John Heilman. It looks like he's going to get up in the 10th place spot, followed by JR Reyes. As Alcorn has gotten right up behind him. I'm getting really bad offset spikes right now. And the stream has just frozen. And it's back now. Okay. So back out front with Benjamin Milkovich. And it looks like this. Oh, my offset is dying. Give me one moment, guys. I'm not too sure what's going on with the stream right now. And hopefully it's back now. Again, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with the game right now. My offset spiked really high and everything went invis, so just be brief with me while I get everything loaded back up in the game. Okay, so I should be back now. I don't think there should be any more issues. I believe it was just a settings issue. Okay. Now it's done trying to load 450 bikes. To be able to load into this race and have no issues. Okay. So we are all good to go now. Sorry about that. So your rundown: Matthias Janis, Kyle Carpenter, Trevor Burns, Leon Ty, Kyle Biggs, Nico Marchini, Nathan Denny, Eric Hognes, Johnny Padani, Brett Falvey, Aaron Rockefeller. I'm not sure who that is. Mads Bowl, I believe. Jack Mark, Austin Schaefer, Tommy Dallaire, Clint Martin, and Logan Heagney. Okay, and we will go on board with your red plate holder Trevor Burns on the EVP Yamaha. And the gate is down for this 450 Heat 1, as it looks like he's going to get a good start up that inside. And it looks like it was Brett Falvey with the hole shot, followed by Aaron Rockefeller, as we see riders going down all over the place in the first corners. But Brett Falvey's going to come out in front. Nico Marchini in second on the Supremacy ride. Mads Bowl, Jack Mark, it looks like he's going to get passed by, that was Austin Schaefer and Logan Heagney. Then we got Johnny Padani and Kyle Biggs, followed by Nathan Denny, maybe going to move up the inside and taking out Tommy Dallaire. Eric Hognes is going to go ahead and get by him, followed by K-Carp and Leon Ty. Trevor Burns pretty far back as he goes down again, going for the triple line, which most of the 450 guys were hitting in the qualifying, so I'm not too sure why everybody's choking up and going double triple. Brett Falvey out front, running clean, followed by Nico, Bowl, Heagney. Padani moves ahead of Mark. Biggs gets taken out by, looks like, Nathan Denny. Eric Hognes is going to go ahead and get by, along with K-Carp and Austin Schaefer. I believe Biggs is in 11th, so that's going to put Carpenter into 9th place as the move up the inside by Austin Schaefer. Puts him into 9th place as he makes the pass on Eric. See if it'll stick, and it does look like it will. As Eric goes down, that's going to put K-Carp into 9th place. Back out front, we have a lead change. Nico goes down. That's going to allow Mads Bull out front. Johnny Padani 2nd. Logan Heagney 3rd. Jack Mark 4th. Nathan Denny 5th. And Nico getting up in 6th. Falvey falls back to 7th. Schaefer 8th. And Carpenter in 9th. With a little bit of a gap over Leon Ty, who just moved into the 10th place spot. And Aaron Rockefeller close by as he cross jumps the rhythm section. Right behind Leon as he looks like he's going for the aggressive move up the inside. And he's going to clip Leon going double triple. And Leon's going to go down as we see Matthias Janis launch himself into the whoops section. As Aaron Rockefeller is a good distance behind Carpenter, as Padani has fallen back to 8th. Schaefer still in 7th. Falvey 6th. Marchini 5th. Denny, in 4th. Mark 3rd. Heagney 2nd. And Mads Bull still out front. As Heagney and Bull are very close at the moment. See if one can pull a little bit of a gap over the other. As we see, that was Jack Mark that made the mistake, so that's going to allow his teammate Aaron Rockefeller to get nice and close. And Trevor Burns in that 11th place spot, looking to get by both of them, hopefully, as the red plate holder would like to make it straight through into the main. Jack Mark is still holding down that 9th place spot. As we see Brett Falvey fall back into 9th now. So Aaron Rockefeller is going to try and make that move around his outside. Good defensive move by Falvey. But that does open the door for Trevor Burns to close up that gap, along with his friend Matthias Janis. This looks like most of the guys are going double, triple, single now instead of how they were doing in qualifying, going triple, triple. Probably just taking the safer line, trying to get through. Is Trevor Burns is going to make a 3-man pass in that corner with Austin Schaefer, Clint Martin, and Jack Mark. Oh, that was Aaron Rockefeller that went down. That's going to put Clint Martin into, I believe that's 10th, battling with Austin Schaefer. Schaefer cuts the track a little bit, but he's going to make the move up the inside. A little bit of a lag punt there as they're chasing down Matthias Janis, who's holding down that 9th place spot. Falvey falls back into 8th. Trevor Burns moves up into 7th. Mads Boll falls back to 6th as he's behind a lapper. And it looks like he just got passed by Trevor Burns along with Brett Falvey and Matthias Janis and Clint Martin. Followed by Padani, Nathan Denny, and I believe that was 4th. Kyle Carpenter 2nd, Nico Marchini in 2nd, and Logan Heagney in the 1st place spot in this heat race. We'll give Heggs a little bit of screen time since he's never really up front unless it's an LCQ. As Burns has moved his way up into, it looks like, the 6th place position. Matthias Janis moves up to 7th, Falvey in 8th, and Clint Martin holding down your last place transfer spot. Mads Boll's fallen outside of the top 10 after once leading this race. Back up front with Logan. Looking nice and smooth on the track. Hitting that triple, quad, triple line, which we didn't see, I believe, any of the 250 riders doing. Trevor Burns has moved up into the 3rd place spot, getting past Johnny Padani in the 4th place spot now. And Kyle Carpenter, who falls back into 5th. Then he's still in 6th place. Janis still 7th. Clint moves up into 8th. And Falvey in the 9th place spot, with a very large gap over Austin Schaefer, who just entered the rhythm section behind them. Looks like the battle is tightening up as we see Heagney make a mistake. That's going to push him back into 2nd. So now we have a 3-way battle for this 1st place finish in the heat race as Trevor Burns makes the dive up the inside. Is going to have to try and stretch out that double, which he cases. That's going to lose a lot of time to Heagney and Nico. As Heagney makes a little bit of a mistake coming out of that double section. Into the whoop section they go. Will they get through it clean? As Heagney cases the step on, that's going to open the door for Trevor Burns, who's going to hit the regular race line. And that's going to allow Nico Marchini to get away from them and win your 450 Heat 1, followed by Trevor Burns and Logan Heagney rounding out your podium. Johnny Padani 4th, Kyle Carpenter 5th, followed by Nathan Denny in 6th. Falvey moves up into the 7th place spot as it looks like he's going to be able to hold it down for that finish position. Matthias falls back into 8th. And Clint Martin down in the last corner as well as Austin Schaefer. That's going to allow Clint, as long as he can get through these whoops section, to finish in the last transfer spot as he makes a mistake and goes over the berm. That's going to allow Jack Mark to get into 9th place. Or no, I'm sorry, Austin Schaefer, who jumped the finish backwards. So it looks like Jack Mark will end up getting that position off of cuts as long as they both didn't have terrible amounts of cuts. And Clint Martin is going to come across in 11th place. Aaron Rockefeller 12th. Biggs in 13th. Mads Boll 14th. Hognes 15th. Delaire in 16th, who just got passed, I believe. No. And Leon Tai has disconnected from the race. So a very spicy ending to your 450 Heat 1. As we saw Hegney go down with, on the last lap, after running a perfect first 6 or 7 laps. Makes a mistake on the last one. That allows Nico to get the win and Trevor Burns to move up into second. As the changes, Heggs goes back up into first. That's going to put Trevor Burns into second. Nico falls back to third. Carpenter 4th, Padani 5th, Denny 6th, Falvey 7th, Janison 8th, and that's going to allow Jack Mark to make it in after cuts in that 9th place position. Like I said, Austin Schaefer hit the finish line backwards, so he would not get that position. Clint Martin just outside of the top 10, unfortunately going down in the last turn. And as we wait for this 450 Heat 2 lineup check. As we're on the gate for the 450 Heat number 2, Jeffrey Bruns, Enzo Butigny, Daniel Mills, Brody Biggs, Jet Wisdom, Brent Heitzelman, Pablo Vial, Diego Fieria, Dan Jones, did I say that right? Yeah, Dan Jones, Riley Hewen, Jacob Kelly, Austin Eklund, Dakota French, Alex Griffiths, Jonathan Hewitt, Dale Mullins, Colby Eaglin, Frank Jackson, Caleb Hall. As we wait for this restart. I try to respond to chat messages as much as possible between the when I'm loading into the races and everything, just to keep it more professional for the EMF YouTube channel. Which, if you want to go back and watch the highlights of the races or the full race preview or the full race recap, it will be on the MXS EMF YouTube channel. And let's go on board with Dakota French. The only person I don't have their skins on this gate. And the gate is down for 450 heat 2. That was a poor jump for French. Back up to the front. It looks like it's going to be Alex Griffiths that technically gets the whole shot. As Caleb Hall is out front, followed by Dale Mullins, Riley Hewen, Enzo Buttigni, who looks like he's going to make the move up. But no, he makes a mistake in the whoops. Jacob Kelly, Jonathan Hewitt, Frank Jackson, Dakota French, Kobe Eaglin, who gets together with Dakota and goes down. That's going to allow Pablo Vial and Austin Eklund to get by, along with Jeffrey Bruns, Diego Ferreira, Daniel Mills, Brent Heitzelman, Brody Biggs, Alex Griffiths, Dan Jones, and then finally Dakota French. And I'm sorry I missed Jet Wisdom. Back up front, Caleb Hall still holding down the first place position. Enzo makes the move into second place over Riley Hewen and Dale Mullins. As Dale makes the move up the inside of his friend Riley, which was a very aggressive race move by him. That puts him up in the third place, followed by Jacob Kelly, Riley Hewen, Frank Jackson, John O'Hewitt, and Austin Eklund is going to be in your seventh place position. Jeffrey Bruns and Pablo Vial rounding out your top 9. As it looks like Jeffrey Bruns is going to make a move up the inside. I'm sorry, that was Daniel Mills. And Pablo Vial does the same in the next corner, repaying the favor. As Daniel Mills gets stuck on the wall jump after running into the back of Vial. As Hall still out front, followed by Jacob Kelly now moving up into second. Frank Jackson into third. Dale into fourth. Eklund moves up into the fifth place spot, followed by Hewen, which it looks like that was... I'm not too sure, that looked like Dale and Enzo that were down together, maybe. No, I'm sorry, that was Jacob Kelly who goes down again. So that moves Austin Eklund up into the third. Huey moves up into fourth. Dale Mullins fifth. VL sixth. Brun seventh. Griffiths in eighth. And Jonathan Hewitt holding down ninth place position, followed by Daniel Mills and Enzo Buttigni. As it looks like Daniel's going to get a really good run through those whoops, but it's going to be blocked by Jonathan Hewitt, but that lets Enzo Buttigni move up the inside and make the pass. As we see another line that we haven't seen tonight, going double, quad double. Back out front with Caleb Hall. Looking good on the Race Factory Gaming Honda. Pretty sure that's just a dig at EMF, but nonetheless, out front running smooth, followed by Frank Jackson. Austin Eklund still holding it down third over his teammate. It looks like Colby's made it into 10th place, and Jet Wisdom's moved up into 9th behind Pablo Vial, followed by Dakota French and Jacob Kelly. That's going to make this interesting as Colby makes the move, along with a rider riding backwards on the track. So that puts Colby up into 9th. Back out front, no changes so far in the top 5. Or I'm sorry, the top 5 has changed. That bumped Austin up into second, Riley up into third, Dale into fourth, and Jeffrey Bruns into fifth, followed by Frank Jackson, who fell back to sixth. Griffiths in seventh, Vial eighth, and Eklund in ninth. Or Eaglin, I'm sorry. Followed closely by Dakota French in that 10th place spot, right outside of a transfer. As he goes down, that's going to allow Jet Wisdom to get into that 10th place spot and hopefully be able to chase down Colby. As Eklund is applying a lot of pressure to Vial right now. It looks like he's going to try and make a move to the outside of him and cut down. Good battling so far tonight on this track. Well put together track by the EMF track crew. As Eaglin's going to go trip up the inside of him and make it into the outside rut. Going to allow Vial to fall back to 9th. As Eaglin gets past Jeffrey Brunson, moves up into 7th, and Vial moving into 8th. That's going to let Jet Wisdom to make up a good amount of time and get right on the back of Jeffrey Brunson. Actually makes the pass, but up the inside is Daniel Mills, who moves up into 9th. Side by side with Bruns going into the corner before the double. As more casualties, we see Colby go down. I don't think Daniel Mills is going to be able to get to him before he gets up. No, but after the whoop section, he may get by. No, Colby will hold on to 8th place as he makes another mistake jumping off the side of the track. Still retaining that 8th place position over Daniel Mills. As Jeffrey Bruns has not let go yet. Back out front, Caleb Hall getting chased down by Austin Eklund, which it looks like Eklund and Hewen have both reeled in Caleb. With different line choices, as Austin's going to go for the move up the inside and shove Caleb Hall over the berm. That's going to let Hewen by. Frank Jackson looks like he's going to be a little bit too far back, especially since Caleb didn't have a full fall off, but Caleb will fall back to 3rd. Back up front with your new leader, Austin Eklund, with the number 1 plate. Looking good on the Galaxy Yamaha. Riley Hewen following in 2nd on the Galaxy Yamaha. Hall goes down in 3rd. That's going to allow Frank Jackson and Dale Mullins to get by, given they don't make a mistake. But Dale does go down. That's going to allow Caleb Hall to get back up into 4th. Vial following close by in 5th. Dale falls back to 6th. Griffith 7th. Daniel Mills 8th. Jeffrey Bruns 9th. Jet Wisdom moves up into the 10th place spot. Colby Eaglin falling back to 11th on the white flag lap. Back out front with your leader, Riley Hewen has taken the lead as we see Austin Eklund down. That's going to allow Frank Jackson to move into 2nd, Hall back into 3rd, Vial 4th, Dale 5th, and Eklund's going to fall back to 6th. Back out front with your leader as he's coming to the checkered flag. And that is going to be a heat number 2 victory for Riley Hewen on the Galaxy Yamaha. Followed by Frank Jackson, who looks like he's going to be able to hold down 2nd place. Caleb Hall makes the move on Vial in the last corner. That's going to give him 3rd. Vial's going to fall back to 4th. Eklund makes the move up to 5th. Mills falls back into 6th. Bruns 7th. Mullins 8th. Dakota French is going to round out your top 9 into the transfer position. Alex Griffiths falls back to 10th, and Colby Eaglin making the dive bomb up into the inside. Both of them go down. That's going to let Wisdom get 10th. Enzo Butini 11th. Colby's going to get 12th. Griffiths is going to get 14th, it looks like. Jacob Kelly gets 13th. Dan Jones gets 16th. Jonathan Hewitt 17th, Brent Heitzelman 18th, and Brody Biggs will end up 19th. After cuts, it looks like the running order is not going to change. Everybody holds their positions. Now we're going to get ready for the 250 Lcqs. Going to go ahead and load up into the lineup check for it. And while Higney goes through and builds the scripts for the Lcqs, go ahead and we'll pull up the results from last week and the current point standings for the NA series. As our top 10 for the 250 division for the NA series is going to be Johan Bordiu, followed by Seth Shirley, Holden Coate, Daniel Mills, who is moved up to 450 this week, Heilman 5th, Vanderbeek 6th, Tharp 7th, who again does have that 1 week ban, Carson West 8th, Sam Widgman 9th, and Alec Horn rounding out your top 10. Moving over into the 450 class, Trevor Burns is your points leader, followed by Riley Hewen, Austin Eklund, Rasmus Balzer, who also banned for 8 weeks, so he will not be racing for a little bit, followed by Dakota French, Steve Bonnell, Dennis Fjordberg, Enzo Buttigny, Alex Griffiths, and Aaron Rockefeller rounding out your top 10. And we will go back to racing now. And we'll go ahead and get reconnected. On the gate for the 250 LCQ, we have Josh, Alec, Ben Campbell, Timmy Briscoe, Juan Foreman. Again, I'm really bad with names like that. Magnus Gregerson, Kristen Powell, Ryan Swanson, Sonny Spicer, Leonard Schmidt, Evan Holt, Nate Bro, Christopher McPherson, Jose Fomador, Trevor Spencer, Max Boakes, and Sam Widgman. And we'll go on board with another restart. And we'll go on board with Christopher McPherson. And the gate's down for the 250 LCQs. We see a Honda rider hit the gate in the background. And it looks like that's going to be Sam Widgman that gets the whole shot. As we see Trevor Spencer make the move up the inside, getting on by. As we see Jeff Giffen down. Trevor Spencer with an early lead, followed by Christopher McPherson, Max Spokes, and Alec Horn, rounding out your transfer positions. As Horn makes the early move up into third, Spokes falling back into fourth. Swanson and Powell both close together in that 5th and 6th place spot, as it looks like that's Trevor Spencer that went down. That's going to allow McPherson to get up into first, who's going to get passed by Alec Horn. And Ryan Swanson moves up into third place, followed by Tristan Powell. Alec Horn first, Swanson second, McPherson third, and Powell rounds out fourth. As Giffen makes a mistake over the double, has to single it. That's going to allow Spokes and Gregerson to get by into that 5th and 6th spot. Back up to the front. As Powell gets in the back of McPherson, that's going to allow Magnus Gregerson to get by. And we see that was, I believe, Max Spokes that got sketchy coming into that corner. That's going to let Jeff Giffen by, who makes another mistake, climbing the backside of the berm. That's going to let Tristan Powell back by. That puts him into the 5th place spot as we see another rider down in the next corner. So we have Horn, Swanson, Gregerson, and Powell in the top 4 transfer positions. As Giffen has moved up into 5th, as we see a lot of riders going down in this rhythm section. Back up front with Alec Horn, who's pulled a sizable gap over 2nd place. Running a very good pace so far. Leonard Schmidt has closed in on the 4th place position. Has a little bit of a gap to Trevor Spencer on the BPC Kawasaki. As we see, McPherson has fallen all the way back to, what is this, 16th after being out in front the first 2 laps. Not a good start. As Alec Horn makes a little bit of a mistake coming out of the whoop section. Gets out of it fairly unscathed as he crosses the finish line. Swanson still holding on to 2nd place over Tristan Powell, followed closely by Magnus Gregerson and Leonard Schmidt. The transfer position is still wide open for these guys to make a move, as we see Max Spokes move into 6th place. As we see Tristan Powell down, that's going to allow Magnus Gregerson and Leonard Schmidt to move into transfer positions. And Horn just continues to extend his lead over the 250 LCQ group. As Swanson makes a mistake going over the berm, is going to be forced to roll the double. That's going to let Schmidt by in a second. Tristan Powell still not too far back off of a transfer spot, along with Josh Douglas. Sam Wichman moves up into the 7th place position, followed by Nate Bro in 8th. As it should be 2 to go. White flag next time by. As again, a nice gap for Alec Horn on the 2nd place position. As Swanson makes another mistake, that's going to let Powell by into the 4th place spot. Swanson falls back into 5th. Still not too far back. Still a chance to get into it with 2 laps to go. As the leader is going to take the white flag. as it looks like Swanson's falling back to 6. That's going to allow Tristan Powell to open up a little bit more of a gap over Josh. And back out front with your leader, who's about to come across the finish line for the 250 LCQ win. We got a little while until Leonard Schmidt crossed the line for second. And he is going to hold on to that second place finish. Coming across the line. Magnus Gregerson, as long as he can get through the whoops in the corner clean, should have that third place spot. Followed by Tristan Powell, who's going to round out your transfer position. And Josh Douglas going to finish just outside the transfer spot in 5th. Followed by Ryan Swanson 6th. Ben Campbell, looks like he's going to become around 7th. Sonny Spicer 8th, Max Spokes down in 9th. That's going to let Evan Holt get by into 9th place. Max Spokes is going to get up and come across the line in 10th, followed by Christopher McPherson in 11th. And we are waiting on Jose Famador to come across the line for the 12th place spot. I'll be waiting on the 450 LCQ lineup. Do a run through everybody that's in the race, and then we'll go ahead and get underway with the LCQ race itself. I'd have to look back. I believe they both transferred in. I believe Reese ended up in 6th, and I believe Noah got 8th, if I'm not mistaken. On the gate for the 250 LCQ, we have Eric Hogness, Alex Griffiths, Enzo Buttigni, or 450, I'm sorry. Clinton Martin, Brody Biggs, Jacob Kelly. That was Kyle Biggs. Dan Jones, Diego Ferreira, Mads Boll, Jonathan Hewitt, Brent Heitzelman, Tommy Delaire, Jet Wisdom, Aaron Rockefeller, Leon Ty, Colby Eaglin are all in this 450 LCQ. Oh, thank you for the correction, Hanks. And we'll go on board with Eric Hogness for the 450 LCQ. The gate is down and they are away. Looks like it's going to be Diego Fieri getting the whole shot, but Alex Griffiths out front, along with, I believe that was Colby Eaglin that just went down. Diego Ferreira pulls out in first, followed by Austin Schaefer, Clint Martin, and Enzo Buttigni. As Mads Bull goes down in the corner, Jet Wisdom funnels into 5th place. Leon Ty 6th, Dan Jones 7th, Brian Heitzelman 8th, Tommy Delaire 9th, Brody Biggs 10th, Aaron 11th, Kelly in 12th, Mads Bull 13th, Hewitt 14th, Biggs 15th, Hogness 16th, Griffith 17th, and Eaglin has disconnected. Back out front with Austin Schaefer, as Clinton Martin has moved up into 2nd, Enzo in 3rd, and Diego Figueria falls back to 4th. Leon Ty holding on into the 5th place position. Not too far back off of the transfer spot. As Austin Schaefer makes a mistake, and Clint Martin is going to get the worst end of it, as that's going to let Enzo by, along with Diego, who makes a mistake in the whoop section. He's going to have Leon Ty up his inside, showing him a wheel. As cross jump kills Leon Ty, that's going to allow Dan Jones to get by into that 5th place spot. Make his shot at making the main through the LCQ. Back out front with Austin Schaefer. Dan Jones moved up into 3rd as Clint Martin falls back into 4th, who goes down off the back of Brody Biggs. That's going to let Brody move up into 4th, as Leon Ty's in 5th, Griffith 6th, Rockefeller 7th, Bull 8th, Ferry in 9th, and Kelly in your top 10, followed closely by Clint Martin in 11th. It looks like Schaefer has opened up a good gap. Not really having to push or worry about Enzo. Both of them should make it in through the into the main event as long as they don't have a catastrophic issue. As we see Austin Schaefer down off the side of the track, as I say that allows Buttigni to move up into 1st. Schaefer still holding on to that 2nd place spot though, followed by Dan Jones and Alex Griffiths moving up into 4th. Mads Bull making a mistake. That's going to allow Aaron Rockefeller to get by into 5th place. Back out front with Enzo. The lap rider goes down in front of him. Wisely decides to disconnect. Schaefer making a mistake in the corner before the last set of whoops. Allows Dan Jones to catch up just a little bit, but decides to take the whoops a little bit smoother. Griffith's still holding down 4th place. Rockefeller in 5th, catching a little bit, but not very much. As Griffiths goes down, that's going to allow Rockefeller to move up into 4th. Griffiths falls back into 6th as Clint Martin moves back up into that 5th place spot, looking to hopefully get into the main event tonight. Enzo again with a nice gap over Austin Schaefer. He just has to make a mistake-free ride, doesn't have to push at all, and he will make it pretty much into the main event without an issue. as he makes a little bit of a mistake coming out of the whoop section, was able to save it, get across clean. As they've come to 2 to go now. As Rockefeller's starting to gain on Dan Jones now. Griffith's still holding on to 5th as Clint makes a mistake in 6th. That allows Eric Hognes to close in a little bit in that 7th place spot. As Rockefeller's making a run after Dan Jones as they take the white flag. As Dan Jones goes down, that's going to open up the door for Alex Griffiths to move up into a transfer spot. Along with it, looks like Clint Martin is going to get right behind him and makes the pass into 5th. So there is still a chance for Clint to make it into this main event if Griffiths makes a mistake, slips up, or even Rockefeller if he makes a bad enough mistake. And we know Clint has the pace to be able to make it into this main event. If he could put down a good hot lap and maybe catch up to him enough, he might be able to force him into a mistake as Griffiths going double, triple, single out of the section. Back up to the front, Enzo Buttigni coming to the checkered flag with a smooth 450 Lcq win. As Austin Schaefer goes down with a lapper, that's going to allow Aaron Rockefeller to move up into that 2nd place position. He makes the move up the inside on Schaefer. Oh, as Schaefer makes the pass right back by. That's going to move Rockefeller back to 3rd. Griffith's still holding on to 4th over Clint Martin as he comes along in the last transfer spot, but we will have to wait for cuts with a 1.8 second gap between the two. Dan Jones comes across in 6th. Hewitt's going to come across in 7th. As he goes down, and Jet Wisdom has already disconnected, so he is the last active rider. And we will not see a change in the order for the main event other than Enzo holding on to 1st. Schaefer falls back to 3rd. Rockefeller moves up into 2nd, and Alex Griffiths rounds out your top 4. And we'll go to this while we wait for the 450 LCQ, or the 250 main event to get ready to start. Thank you very much, Jet Hollyhead, for the $5 donation. I much appreciate it. Along with another Jet dropping a follow, and Huan dropping another follow. So I haven't been able to go through all these today. Again, trying to save it for when we're in these intermissions and stuff that I can cut out of the recording for the EMF YouTube. Again, much appreciated. I appreciate all the support everybody's been giving on this series and the streaming for it. Again, it is my first time kind of streaming a series like this, so I much appreciate any feedback that I can be given. in order to make the streams just that little bit better. It looks like we're going to start getting onto the gates for the 250 main event. Go ahead and get reconnected to the server. And on the gate for the 250 main event, you start with Leonard Schmidt, Trevin Thompson, Magnus Gregerson, Jet Hollyhead, Thomas Bento, Alec Horn, J.R. Reyes, John Heilman, Carson West, Tristan Powell, Reese Harris, Benjamin Milkovich, Luke Magnetti, Hayden Stevenson, Noah Hoke, Brandon Nygren, Seth Shirley, Adam Holm, and Daniel Irvine. That looks to be everybody. If I didn't mention Holden Coate, he's also in here. Same with Johan Bordieu. Okay, and the gate is down for the 250 main event. That didn't give me any time at all, as it looks like Johan Bordy is going to get the whole shot on the inside, followed by Daniel Irvine, Jet Hollyhead, Carson West. As Hollyhead goes down, that's going to cause a huge pileup in the berm. That's going to allow Johan and Daniel Irvine to get a little gap going. As Heilman moves up into the third place spot, Trevor Thompson fourth, Noah Hoke fifth, Leonard Schmidt in sixth, Benjamin Milkovich seventh, Hayden Stevenson eighth, Jet Hollyhead ninth, Coate 10th, Gregerson falls back to 12th as Horn moves up into the 11th spot, Harris 13th, Powell 15th, or 14th, I'm sorry, Nygren 15th, Shirley is in 17th, followed by J.R. Reyes in 16th. Luke Magnetti makes the pass into 17th, pushing J.R. back to 18th. As rider down as Adam Holm T-bones him in the corner. Back out front to your leader, who's already pulled a good gap over Daniel Irvine. As just as what Johan wanted, to keep that points lead. Just get out front as far as he can at the early stages of the race and just hold on for the remainder of it. His front three hasn't changed at all. Same with Thompson and Hoke. Coate moves up into 6th place, followed by Horn in 7th. Stevenson 8th still. Milkovich 9th. You see a pileup in the background. Hollyhead actually moves up into 9th, falls back to 10th now after Milkovich makes a move up the inside. Magnetti up into the top 10 after a horrible start. Shirley in 11th. Schmidt in 12th. Powell 13th. Bento 14th. Holm 15th, Gregerson 16th, West 18th, Nygren 19th. Looks like he actually disconnected. That's going to put Harris into the 19th spot. JR will make the move into 20th into 20th as we don't have a 21st rider on the gate. Or 22nd rider on the gate, I'm sorry. Back out front with Johan. Looking as good as ever on that Panini Motorsports Yamaha 250. With the red background signifying he is the points leader. Little mistake coming into that rhythm, but doesn't lose too much time to Irvine, still able to keep a manageable gap to him. We'll go on board with him to start off this one. Last lap was a 102.2, best of a 101.3, just to get an idea of the pace that these riders are running early in this main event. As he stretches gap out to 5 seconds now. He's pulled 3 seconds so far this lap. As he runs a 1:06 last lap. Irvine's still holding on to that 2nd place. Heilman 3rd, Thompson 4th, and Hoke 5th. As Hollyhead makes the move into 5th over Hoke. Alec Horn following in suit in 6th. Shirley 7th, Coate 8th. Milkovich in 9th, and Stevenson falls back into 10th. Followed closely by Luke Magnetti in 11th. Leonard Schmidt 12th. Thomas Bento 13th. West 14th. Powell 15th. Gregerson making a mistake in 16th is going to let Adam Holm catch up just a little bit in, I believe that's 18th. 19th, Reese Harris, and J.R. Reyes very far back in that 20th place spot. As we see riders down, looked like that was Bento and Magnetti maybe that were down together. As a pileup in the whoop section with Heilman, Hollyhead, Shirley, Milkovich is going to be able to make a few moves by. As these top three still holding on to a good gap along with Alec Horn. Coates going to move up into 5th. Heilman falls back into that 6th place spot. Hollyhead falls back to 7th. Milkovich in 8th. Shirley 9th. And Hoke rounding out your top 10. You see Seth Shirley on the attack on Benjamin Milkovich. It looks like he gets the triple quad triple behind him. Going inside, and Milkovich is going to cross into his rear wheel and go down. That's going to allow Stevenson and Hoke to get by. And along with Carson West and Thomas Bento, that moves Milkovich back a few spots, but after Hayden Stevenson makes a mistake in the whoops, that's going to allow him to close in a little bit more, along with Bento and Carson West coming from off track. Back up to the lead, Johan Bourdieu has pulled a very sizable gap over Daniel Irvine. Trevin Thompson still holding on to that 3rd place position, followed by Alec Horn not too far back. Heilman in 5th. Shirley moves up into 6th. Coat falls to 7th again. Holyhead in 8th, West 9th, and Hope rounds out the top 10. This battle for 11th place between Magnetti, Milkovich, and Reese Harris is looking fairly good. As we see a mistake out of Benjamin Milkovich causes them to go down. Allows just a little bit more breathing room for Magnetti. As Johan makes a mistake going off the backside of the berm, still able to get on track and hit the main rhythm section. Oh, as he makes another mistake, it's going to cause him to have to triple out. It's going to allow Irvine to make up a little bit of time along with Trevin. As Horn makes a mistake, that's going to allow Heilman to close in. The Shirley following in suit. Oh, and that's Alec Horn down. That's going to let Heilman get by along with Irvine being down. And that's going to put Trevin Thompson up in the 2nd. Irvine falls back to 3rd. Heilman moves up to 4th. Shirley moves up to 5th. Horn moves back to 6th. Hollyhead up into 7th. West moves up to 8th. Magnetti up into 9th. And Cope falls back to 10th. Back up with your leader, Johan. We are already about halfway through this main event. Man, time flies when you're having fun, huh? We get a quick lap time check for Johan. Still fast lap is a 1 minute .0. I believe that's Seth Shirley moving up into 4th place. Hollyhead moving up into 5th. Warren gets back up into 6th place. Heilman falls back to 7th. Carson West in 8th. Magnetti still holding on to 9th. And Colt holding on to 10th. Krista Paolo not too far behind in 11th. Reese Harris falling back to 12th. Noah Hoke in 13th. Thomas Bento 14th. Magnus Gregerson gets passed for 15th, I believe that was. Yep. By Benjamin Milkovich. J.R. Reyes makes Magnus gets back by into 16th. JR in 17th. Adam Holm in 18th. Not looking too hot on the atom.com gas ride. Followed by Hayden Stevenson, and Leonard Schmidt and Brandon Nygren have made their way out of the main event. As Johan is continuing to pull a good amount of a gap over second place, being Trevin Thompson as he's coming into lap for riders. Looks like J.R. Reyes that he's getting by. Seth Shirley's moved up into third. Allows it Irvine's going to fall back into fourth. West moves up into fifth ahead of Alec Horn at sixth. Hollyhead falls back to seventh. Magnetti up into eighth. Powell ninth. And Reese Harris rounding out your top 10. As the teammates running third and fourth, Irvine and Seth Shirley. Magnetti moving up into fifth place. Carson West falls back into sixth. Horn in seventh. Hollyhead still following up at eighth. Reese Harris at ninth. And Tristan Powell rounding out your top 10, followed by Heilman. As it looks like that was Reese Harris that made the mistake. That's going to allow Holden, Coate, John Heilman, and Tristan Powell by, as Coate makes the move on Powell right after. This is a pretty good battle between 9th, 10th, and 11th. And 12th, I'm sorry. So you see Heilman making a mistake. That's going to allow Coate and Powell to get by. As Powell's crossing over to the left side, making a move up the inside of Coate, who makes a mistake in the rhythm section, followed by Reese Harris. As Alec Horns moved up in the 5th place position, followed by Hollyhead moves up into 6th. Magnetti falls back to 7th, West in 8th. Harris moves up into 9th, and Powell rounds out your top 10. Back up to your leader. With just under 2 minutes and a lap left in this main event, Johan with a 20-second lead over Trevin Thompson, who also has a little bit of a gap over Seth Shirley, but not much to work with. If he makes a mistake, it will open up the door for Shirley. As Johan makes a little bit of a mistake in this rhythm section, not affecting him too bad. Alright, still holding on to the 2nd place position, as looks like Irvine has disappeared. Seth Shirley just got done lapping his teammate and team owner Adam Holm on the atom.com gas. Alec Horn following close in 5th. Hollyhead in 6th. Coate moves up into 7th. Magnetti falls back to 8th. West in 9th. And Reese Harris still holding on to that top 10 position. Followed closely by Thomas Bento and Tristan Powell. Noah Hoken 13th, Benjamin Milkovich 14th, Adam Holm 15th, J.R. Reyes 16th, Magnus Gregerson 17th, Hayden Stevenson 18th, and that rounds out your active riders. As Johan avoiding a lapped rider. I believe that was Noah Hoke that they just got done lapping. The Johan lapping up into 12th right now. With again another comfortable gap, as it looks like Seth Shirley is caught up to Trevin Thompson while still having to be side by side with his teammate. Apologize, for some reason Streamlabs crashed as Johan Bordy is going to get the win, followed by Seth Shirley, Trevin Thompson, Holden Koch gets 4th, Luke Magnetti ends up 5th, Hollyhead 6th, Irvine 7th, Alec Horn 8th, Carson West 9th, Reese Harrison 10th, Tristan Powell follows up in 11th, Thomas Bento 12th, Noah Hoke 13th, Benjamin Milkovich 14th, Magnus Hallstrup falls back to 16th, Hayden Stevenson 15th, J.R. Reyes 17th, and Adam Holm gets 18th. As there's one change in the lineup as Magnetti gets 4th, Coat falls back to 5th, Irvine moves up to 6th, Horn falls back into 8th, and Holyhead falls back into 7th, and that looks to be it. And we'll go ahead and get loaded back in for the 450 main event. On the gate for the 450 main event, we have Nathan Denny, Jeffrey Bruns, Daniel Mills, Johnny Badani, Matthias Janis, Daniel Mills, Trevor Burns, Brett Falvey, Austin Eklund, Nico Marchini, Riley Hewen, Pablo Vial, Dakota French, Aaron Rockefeller, Dale Mullins, Alex Griffiths, Jack Mark, Kyle Carpenter, Enzo Butigny, Austin Schaefer, Dakota French, and that is everybody. And on the gate for the 450 main event, we'll go on board with Daniel Mills off the start. And the gate is down for the 450 main event here in Oakland as Brett Falvey's going to get the whole shot. Back out front, we're going to see Daniel Mills in first, Dale Mullins second, Trevor Burns off to a good start in third, Aaron Rockefeller in fourth, Logan Heagney in seventh, eighth, going to fall back. Trevor Burns falls back to fourth, Falvey up into fifth, Eklund sixth, Matthias seventh, Dakota French in eighth, Heagney falls back to ninth, Schaefer 10th, Vial 11th, and Frank Jackson 12th, Kyle Carpenter 13th, Enzo Buttigni 14th, Alex Griffiths 15th, Clint Martin 16th, Nico Marchini in 17th, Jack Mark 18th, Jeffrey Burns 19th, Nathan Denny in 20th, Riley Hewen 21st, and Johnny Padani in 22nd. Back out front, we see Daniel Mills already getting a little bit of time over Aaron Rockefeller and Brett Falvey, followed closely by Trevor Burns in fourth place, holding down the red plate. As Burns is going to go down, but somehow not get a fall off, colliding with Brett Falvey. He is going to lose a few spots to Austin Eklund, Matthias Janis, and Dakota French. But that is better than him losing 10 spots, so don't think he's going to complain so much about that. As we see Nathan Denny, Rylan Hewen holding up into the back. As we see Dale Mullins making a mistake, falling back into, it looks like, 20th. And we'll see Trevor Burns has fallen down into 10th so far. So not a great start to this main event for the red plate holder. That's just what this guy wanted to see up in the third place spot, chasing down Aaron Rockefeller for that second place position. As Austin Eklund makes the move up the inside of Aaron Rockefeller and puts Rockefeller on the ground. That's going to allow Janis to move up into third as well. Rockefeller is going to fall back to fifth, falling behind Frank Jackson. Trevor Burns down in sixth is going to fall back a few spots. As Matthias Janis has moved up into second, now Frank Jackson up into third, Eklund fourth, battling with Aaron Rockefeller, who makes the pass and puts Eklund back into fifth. Falvey in sixth, Carpenter seventh, Heagney eighth, Nico Marchini in ninth, and Trevor Burns rounding out your top 10. Johnny Padani, after a really bad start, moves up into the 11th place spot, along with Alex Griffiths in 12th. Jack Mark moves up into 13th, Vial 14th, Schaefer 15th. Hewen moving up into 16th. Clint Martin in 17th, Enzo Buttigni in 18th, and Jeffrey Bruns 19th, and Dakota French rounding out your top 20, as we see Dale Mullins and Nathan Denny in 21st and 22nd. Back out front with the leader Daniel Mills, who's already putting a good gap over Matthias Janis, who makes a mistake coming out of the bull corner. As Janis goes down, that's going to open the door for Frank Jackson to move up into that second place spot, followed by Aaron Rockefeller, who's going to move up into third, and Austin Eklund into fourth. Janice gets up and regroups back in 5th, Falvey 6th, Hagney 7th. Trevor Burns getting up into 8th place, Padani in 9th. Jack Markin rounding out your top 10. Mills makes a little bit of a mistake. As this battle for second place is starting to get going, four-way battle for second between Frank Jackson, Aaron Rockefeller, Austin Eklund, and Matthias Janis. Janis makes a little mistake, is going to fall behind this pack of riders. And that's Frank Jackson making the mistake in the corner. That's going to allow Rockefeller and Austin Eklund to get by. As Eklund's going to make a move up the inside again on Rockefeller in the same corner he made the pass on, I believe, lap 1 or 2. As these two have been going at it so far a good amount of this main event. Eklund looking to be a little bit more impatient. Doesn't want to wait for the pass to come to him. He just wants to get by and start going after the lead. As Daniel Mills has pulled a very healthy gap over these two. As Eklund makes a mistake and goes down, that's going to allow Rockefeller to stay in second. Matthias moves up into third. Eklund stays into fourth. Burns up into fifth, battling with Frank Jackson in sixth. Logan Heagney making a mistake in the Wolves falls back into seventh. Eighth, getting passed by Brett Falvey. And back up to your leader with a 20-second gap. And these guys are running low 1 minute, high 59 so far this main event. At least Daniel Mills is. Seems like it's working pretty well for him as he's out in front right now. Trevor Burns up into the third place spot. Frank Jackson 4th, Rockefeller 5th, Falvey 6th, Eklund 7th, Kyle Carpenter 8th, Boutigny 9th, and Logan Heagney was down in 10th. Riley Hewins made it all the way up to 11th place, Griffiths in 12th. Schaefer 13th, Padani falls back to 14th, Vial 15th, Clint Martin 16th, Jack Mark 18th, Dakota French 19th, and Nico Marchini rounds out your top 20. Back up front with Daniel Mills on the JDR Honda. As Mills is looking very comfortable on the track right now. Again, holding a very good pace, staying ahead of Matthias Janis by a very large gap. Trevor Burns still holding on to the third place spot. A little mistake in the burn, but nothing too big. Rockefeller holding on to 4th. Frank Jackson falls back into 5th. Carpenter 6th. Boutigny 7th. Eklund in 8th. As the second place in points right now, he definitely does not want to be back here battling for the 7th place position right now. Boutigny makes a mistake that gives Austin the free pass through. Got a little bit of a gap to Carpenter, but nothing that he can't make up with the pace that he knows he can run. Rockefeller looking fairly smooth on the bike, not making too many mistakes other than getting caught up with other riders. As Burns has made it past Janis for second place, that's going to allow him to start going for the chase down on Daniel Mills. Question is the gap too big for him to be able to catch up, or is he going to be able to gain the time? Which looks like the gap has closed up about 3 seconds since Matthias was in second, ahead of Burns. So it definitely is possible with the amount of time we have left in this main event, as we're only halfway through, 10 minutes plus a lap left in this main event, for the move into first could happen. Rockefeller battling with Carpenter for that 4th place spot. Frank falls back into 5th. Eklund still holding on to 6th, with Padani right behind him in 7th. Both these riders need to try and get up to the front as soon as possible. Both of them know they shouldn't be running back outside of the top 5 at the least. As Austin makes a mistake in the rhythm section, is forced to hit an alternate line and give up the spot to Johnny Padani, as Logan Heagney's close behind, followed by Pablo Vial and Enzo Buttigni. Let's get a lap time check for Trevor Burns last lap, as he runs a 57.5. A second faster than first place in qualifying for both divisions of racing so far, the EU and NA series. We'll go on board for the rest of this lap with Trevor, as he's already cut the gap down to 10 seconds. And he's getting held up by a lapper. Makes a mistake in the corner, is forced to roll into the whoop section. And another lapper is going to let himself by. It looks like Denny is going to get by. Burns get by both of them now. Gap stretches back out to 12 seconds. Even with that mistake, he's running 59s. As Matthias Janis is in the 1 minute range, along with Daniel Mills and Aaron Rockefeller, who had a mistake last lap. But Burns is chewing into that gap from Daniel Mills very, very heavily. Looking to make that move. And like I said, there is definitely time, if he's going to continue to run that type of pace and gain 3 seconds per lap, to catch Daniel Mills this race. As Burns looking so fast on that EVP Yamaha, running the goofy silver wheels. As Daniel Mills was down, that's going to let Trevor Burns get up into the lead. Daniel Mills falls back into 2nd, and that opens the door for Janis to move up into 3rd. As Mills goes down again, that's going to let Matthias Janis get into that 2nd place spot. As Mills rejoins the track right next to Matthias. Matthias close behind in that 3rd place spot. This has all gone downhill for Daniel Mills, who's lost the lead and almost gotten caught for 2nd place. As Trevor Burns has opened up a good gap over 2nd. He's already grown his lead to 10. As a lapper goes flipping in front of him. Has to choke up and hit an alternate line, but still able to get through smooth enough. Makes a mistake before the finish, but not too bad to where it's going to completely ruin his gap to Daniel Mills, who's just getting through the whoop section, who's pulled a decent gap on Matthias so far. As we see, Aaron Rockefeller is still holding down that 4th place spot. Frank Jackson in 5th, Kyle Carpenter 6th, and Austin Eklund still in 7th, followed by Riley Hugh and his teammate in 8th. This is definitely not what Austin Eklund needed after being in front of Trevor Burns early in this main event. And now allowing Trevor Burns to get into the lead and not even be in 2nd place to be able to limit the amount of points gained. Back out front with your leader, who again, just absolutely on rails around this track right now. As it looks like Logan Heagney makes a mistake in front of the leader. We'll see who is Trevor Burns lapping up to at the moment. Trevor Burns is right behind Dakota French, your P12 rider. Just over 5 minutes and a lap left in this main event. As Trevor Burns is making moves through the pack, getting through these lappers as quick as possible, trying to continue to stretch his lead out as much as possible, as Daniel Mills has kind of reeled him back in a little bit. Not too big of a gap, but still not manageable for Trevor, as he makes a little bit of a mistake, allowing Matias to catch up just a little bit, as they have a mile to Frank Jackson back and forth. Kyle Carpenter moved up into 5th. Eklund's up into 6th. Rockefeller following in 7th. And Hewen still in 8th. Vial in 9th, followed by Austin Schaefer in 10th. Padani falls back to 11th. French, like I said, in 12th after being lapped. Hegney 13th. Marchini in 14th. Griffiths 15th. Martin 16th. Burns 17th. Denny 18th. Boutigny has disconnected in 19th. Dale Mullins coming in 20th. Jack Mark 21st. And Falvey, who disconnected in 22nd. Back out front with your leader, Trevor Burns. After a rough start to this main event, falling back all the way to 10th, even further back, he's made up a whole lot of time and then some. Looking absolutely killer on this track right now. Just, like I said, on rails around this track. As he goes down, he makes a huge mistake. That's going to allow Daniel Mills, he may even be able to get by him with how bad the mistake off track Trevor Burns is. That's going to allow Daniel Mills to get right up behind him. That's going to be a battle as Mills makes the move up the inside, along with Matthias Janus being right there. As Burns is flying through that whoop section, quadding out of the section. And this battle has gotten a whole lot more intense, as the top three are all within a second of each other. As Burns is taking the lead, Mills went down off track. That's going to move Janus up into second. As again, they're just avoiding lap riders, just trying to get through as best as they can. Back to Daniel Mills, who's still in 3rd place. Has a good gap over Kyle Carpenter. Austin Eklund moves up into 5th. Hewen into 6th. Frank Jackson falls back to 7th. Rockefeller in 8th. Vial 9th. And Padani rounding out your top 10. Eklund finally getting up towards the front of the pack. Kyle Carpenter's not too far up the road, but Daniel Mills is a little bit further up. It's going to be tougher to catch if he can't catch with only a minute and a half plus a lap left in this main event. As Burns is already starting to stretch the gap on Matthias Janus. With a huge pack of riders in front of lappers in front of him, it's going to be tough to get by all of them who are still battling for position, or some people lapping other lappers. As we see 2 riders go down in front of Burns, able to get through unscathed, as we see Burns is coming up on lapping at the P10 rider. Or no, Padani has moved up into 7th. So Burns has lapped up to 7th place so far this moto. At least. As he's coming up on the 5th place rider of Aaron Rockefeller. Burns may not be able to lap the entire field, but right now he's looking into lapping into the top 4, as we see Carpenter still holding on to the 4th place position. Rockefeller moves up to 5th. Padani in 6th. Hugh in 7th. Vial 8th. Frank Jackson in 9th. And Austin Eklund falling back to 10th. Definitely not what he needed for the championship points-wise. But, as we've seen in past years, it is very possible for him to still be able to come back and make up those points in the later rounds. As a lap time check for Trevor Burns as he slowed down his pace to a 59.4 these last few laps with a 6.7 second gap to 2nd place. As a rider down in the rut, that looked to be Aaron Rockefeller, I believe. No, that was his teammate, Jack Mark. As Trevor Burns coming up close on Rockefeller. As Daniel Mills still holding down 3rd with Matthias in 2nd. Kyle Carpenter in that 4th place spot looking good. Not making too many mistakes, just kind of staying smooth and slow. No need to push his limits. As Trevor Burns has gotten by Aaron Rockefeller, makes a mistake in the corner, but with that run through the whoops, still able to get out in front of him. As white flag is out, Trevor Burns taking the white flag after lapping the 5th place position. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to lap up the 4th, but there still is a chance if Carpenter does make a mistake, or if he can just catch him off of pure pace as a lapper going down in front of him. And going back-to-back, winning Anaheim 1 last week and winning Oakland Supercross this week is going to be Trevor Burns winning your 450 main event. As we see Matthias Janis coming along, looks like he's going to have 2nd place on lock with the big enough gap to be able to hold on to. Is going to come across in 2nd place. Daniel Mills looks like he should be able to hold on to 3rd as long as he doesn't make too many mistakes, as he's got a decent gap to Kyle Carpenter. As he goes down over the berm, that's going to open up the door for Carpenter to move up into the podium position. As Carpenter moves up into 3rd. And rounding out your 450 main event podium is going to be Kyle Carpenter, followed by Daniel Mills in 4th, Johnny Padani 5th, Pablo Vial 6th, Riley Hewen in 7th, Frank Jackson 8th, Aaron Rockefeller in 9th, Austin Eklund 10th, Clint Martin 11th, Dakota French in 12th, Nico Marchini in 13th, 14th, Logan Heagney, 15th, Jeffrey Bruns, Nathan Denny 16th, Alex Griffith 17th, Dale Mullins 18th, Jack Mark 19th, Austin Schaefer 20th, 21st Enzo Buttigni, Brett Falvey 21st or 22nd, I'm sorry. As your running order will not change, your winner this week will be Trevor Burns, who will retain the red plate and grow his points lead going into the next round for the EMF NA Championship.